Hello, everyone, and welcome to my interview on week 8, the second or the Sunday here, final day here, talking to Fudge from Cloud9. Coverage brought to you by Alienware. Doing things a little different because I got a false positive last week, but can't come into the studio. Fudge, what went wrong? Why is everything's an upset today? What's going on?
I don't know, man. Like 0-15 weekend scrims. Like LCS is doomed, C9's doomed, NA's doomed, everything's doomed. We should just retire, everyone.
Oh, good. Okay, so you're in a positive mood right now.
I'm in a great mood right now. I'm happy that we lost, honestly. You
Why are
know,
you happy?
some of the mistakes we're making, I think that a lot of our regular season wins, we were making the same mistakes. And we sort of just ended up winning because of like a late game team fight or Summit just like carrying the game solo. And I think that it's not really realistic. And we sort of we weren't looking at our mistakes as closely just because we were winning. And I think that's what every team does pretty much is just like ignore the mistakes. We're winning, guys. It's fine. And
Yes.
I think that obviously we're trying to be aware of that. Like, oh, we don't want to we're still making the mistakes. We're still saying that during the split, but it doesn't really feel real until you really lose the game. So
Yeah.
I'm happy that we lost all the mistakes we're making. I'm happy that I'm pretty sure we'll be very, very closely looking at these mistakes in the next coming weeks.
Well, what do you think the chances are that you're playing a tiebreaker? Because the time that this video comes out, we'll already know if it happened or not. But do you think there's a chance that you guys will end up playing this, or is TL walking away with first?
Yeah, I trust my boy Speaker. He's gonna piss on Bjergsen.
Okay, okay, fantastic. Would you care too much about if you guys get second or first, considering there's not too much of a difference?
Honestly, I don't care. I really don't care about playoff seeding that much,
Yeah.
except I just want to be one to four, honestly. But just because being like fifth or sixth kind of sucks. I don't really like being fifth or sixth on my screen. It kind of feels bad to be a fifth or sixth player. But I think that I'd rather we lost and get second than win and not really fix our problems and get first. So pretty happy with this last week.
Yeah, exactly. It's a learning experience, which is good for you guys ahead of playoffs. Um, what do you think of the MVP conversation? Do you feel like there's any specific players on your team that deserve it, or are you thinking at all about it?
I'm not really thinking about it too much. Every time it comes up, though, it's very obvious to me that Summit should be MVP. I don't think it's really arguable that he has consistently gapped every single person throughout the entire split. And I hope that just because like this last week we haven't won as many games means that people are going to be like, oh, dude, he's like not that good. He wasn't actually like going 40 CS up on every single person for like 8 weeks straight. Um,
Yeah, recency bias.
yeah, I just hope there's no recency bias when it comes to that. But obviously, I still think he has like a lot to work on when it comes to outside of just 1v1. But I do think that as a player, he's been the best in the LCS this split.
What about Blabber? Because there's been some conversation about Blabber throughout the course of the split as well.
I think Blab is obviously. I think he would be the second like highest in terms of who would get MVP on our team.
Yeah.
I think he's really, really good. Obviously, he's always good, especially in spring split. Hopefully, in summer split, we don't see the blabberfish going downhill. I'm joking, but I'm not really joking actually. But I think that it's still probably Summit. I wouldn't say that Blabber's been the most valuable player on our team, just because I think almost all of our wins, Summit is just stomping top lane.
Yes.
Although Blabber, I think, is obviously playing really, really well this split as well.
All right, I have to go into Inquisition mode and ask you, why aren't you playing your Champions Queue games, Fudge? Everybody's talking about Champions Queue. There's some players that aren't playing it. So what are you doing instead, or do you just feel like it's not worth it? What's the situation?
Generally for me, I just prefer 1v1s. Like at night, whenever everyone else is playing Champions Queue, usually I just prefer 1v1s or I just play solo queue. I think mainly it's just because, well, first of all, I don't feel like there's much room to int in Champions Queue. If you int, you feel really bad if you int in Champions Queue, and I'm generally a pretty big inter in solo queue, so I think that I would might just int every Champions Queue game and lose my team the game. They might get a bit triggered, so I prefer just playing 1v1s and playing some solo queue.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, aren't you risking the same thing in solo queue, or do you just feel the stakes are way
Well,
lower in
solo
queue?
solo queue, people are okay with you inting a little bit more, I think.
Okay, gotcha. So It's not that big of a deal.
I'm a bit of a Jizuke in solo queue, you know? Like Jizuke on LCS stage, I'm like the solo queue Jizuke.
Gotcha. Okay. Wait, is there an argument that that's a bad thing? Like you should try to learn not to int in solo queue or champions queue?
I know what you're talking about, bro.
I just feel like that might make you a better player in the long run, but I don't know. I don't know how to practice.
I think you're delusional, bro.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Other than that, have you played? When was the last time you played in front of a crowd?
I played in front of a crowd when I was an academy. Oh no, when I was an academy player in 2020 spring, and then there was like 10 people in the crowd. You know, it was a pretty big crowd. But before that, I played in 2019 Worlds.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you think that it's going to be? Do you think it's going to feel weird to be playing in front of an audience again?
Well, we'll have to see, right? But I just assume it's going to be very, very nerve-wracking for most people. Just because, you know, the stakes obviously feel higher when everyone around you is like yelling and screaming at the start of the game. You know, that's how it always is. Everyone else feels like it's really important, so you're going to feel like it's more important, and that's usually how stage games feel like, at least in my experience.
Do you think it could impact any of the players and their performance?
I mean, obviously, you would have to guess it would be the rookies, but when I was a rookie, I didn't feel like it impacted me, so I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't really impact anyone else. We'll have to see, though, obviously, but it's really hard to tell if it's like actually the audience or if it's just the player, you know? That's like,
yes.
Like maybe Jojo Pyun just like decides he wants to int, like regardless of this audience, you know, and then he just like runs it down. You never know.
Yes, that's very fair. Okay, thank you so much, Fudge, for the interview. Anything you want to shout out, especially as you guys are headed into playoffs soon?
No, I have nothing to shout out. Go follow me on Twitter.
Anything you want to say to the fans? I guess.
Anything I want to say to the fans? Sorry for inting this week, but we will win playoffs instantly.
Very good. Well, I'm excited to see you guys win. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things LCS right here on my YouTube channel. You ever find yourself having a hard time focusing? You're at a loss, you're in a game, and you just can't keep track of things? Maybe you need to sharpen your image up by using a new Alienware monitor. That's right. Hopefully we got the focus right so that the timing went smooth and you guys were astounded at how quickly we did that. Anyway, check them out at alienware.com/Travis. There's a link in the description below, and then you can also use a promo code to save on their wonderful monitors to get that sharp, precise image that you need for whatever game you're playing. You know, different games required. Anyway, they've got a 34-inch OLED ultra-wide that's coming out. Thank you so much, Alienware, for sponsoring this video, and thank you all for watching it.